Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and of course tonight I am joined by, well, a couple individuals here. One of them, he's not really on Sportsminute a whole lot, but that's right. He goes by the name of Mr. Crispy Bacon. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanksgiving Eve and getting ready for Turkey Day tomorrow.
Turkey Day, I cannot wait. That is one of my favorite time of year because I'll tell you what, I can eat as much as I want, and nobody will give you crap for eating as much food as you possibly do because they know it's Thanksgiving. So,
well, if you're on the East Coast, it's already Turkey Day. So,
correct,
That's
correct. True. Where I'm at though, it's not quite there yet. Over here, it's still 9 o'clock. So. Yeah, and where I'm at, it's only 9 o'clock, so I still have technically 3 hours to go before it hits Turkey Day over here. But so that is Crispy Bacon, but we also have to welcome in that man that we call Big B. How you doing tonight, my man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just got done with cards a little early because I guess I don't know how to play Texas Hold'em that well. I don't know how to bluff. I got to jump on the show before us, Bo and Joe show, and now I'm here to talk with my man. So how you guys doing?
Oh, you know what? Fantastic. But even if we weren't doing good and we complained about something, nobody would really listen anyways.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, they would listen, but would they care? I guess would be the question. So.
Nah, they probably wouldn't even care. But when you let's welcome in Joanne. Joanne is here tonight. She's saying it's midnight here. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. I hope you're going to have a wonderful Turkey Day. We go Turkey Day, Turkey Day. All right, so anyway, you know what? We have some amazing topics, some fun topics tonight. I was especially excited about one of them, and the reason is because we've seen this kind of stuff happen before. We know how this stuff ends up happening. Somebody's like, oh, I have this brilliant idea. How about we try and start another league because I think it's going to work. Well,
I know where you're going with this, I think.
Yep.
Absolutely, because, Chris, this is actually one of our topics. We're talking about the USFL. That is returning in 2022. Now, the thing is, when it actually returns, though, they're going to have 8 teams. This is a league that was already around once, and it lasted, I think it was like 4 to 6, I think it was like 4 years or something like that. And it folded after 4 years again. And then we have it again to where they're going to come back out. They're going to try this again. So, but for me, one thing, though, is I will say this. There's a reason why I'm kind of excited about it. And that is because now, once the NFL ends, you have more football. And that's why I'm excited about it. Because if there's football there, I'm going to watch it. The only really football league that I didn't watch, that I didn't really care for, was the whole fan-controlled football league. That was like the only one that I was like, it's not. That's really not great because you have like because in the fan-controlled football league you have a different team every week because you're drafting a different team every week. But anyway, going to the USFL. I should say, I don't want to misspeak here. But Big B, I'll start with you. You know it's been around once. They're going to restart it again. What's your thoughts on this USFL?
You know, it's gonna draw ratings the first couple weeks. You know, because it always does. Like you said, it's football. Everybody wants to see it. After a while, it's not going to draw the ratings. We saw it with the XFL. We saw it with what was that one league that folded just right before the XFL started?
The AAF.
Yeah. Yeah, the ratings were phenomenal the first week, and then they started tapering off. You know, the one thing about rebooting things and bringing stuff back out, it's failed once before. You know, why would we want to redo it again? With football, you're only going to survive if you get the backing of the NFL. I mean, look at NFL Europe. It lasted for a while, then the NFL decided to fold it. I think the Canadian Football League's still going around, but you don't hear about it much. Yeah. So with that being said, I mean, it'll probably draw ratings. like you said, it's only 8 teams. So how many games are they going to get in? Are they going to play
they're doing a 10-game schedule.
10-game schedule? Okay, so you're going to play at least everybody twice, maybe somebody 3 times. I don't know. We'll see if it grows, but I think it's just up for failure again. And it's just like teams relocate and then they bring in an expansion team back to that city. It's like it's already failed once or twice, 3 times if you're LA. Why? They don't have the fan base right now. So if it catches on, it'll be because the NFL backs it. If it doesn't, I don't think it has a chance.
No, but here's the thing, though. Like, you bring up the whole fact about how the XFL was here and they kind of failed and things like that. But if you actually think about it, so the reports actually were when the XFL was here and they were coming out with reports. I think that they played like 5 or 6 games before they shut down because of COVID. But before they actually shut down because of COVID, the reports were actually coming out that saying that the XFL was actually getting good ratings. Like people were actually watching the games. Yeah. And that is because, to me, the XFL was actually doing it right. They were doing it right because they were not they had their own set of rules. They weren't going by the NFL rules, which they're like, no, we're going to do it completely different. And people were enjoying the different style of football.
Oh,
I was too, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why when we look at the USFL now, I think they can succeed if they go by their own set of rules. If they don't look at the NFL rules and say, well, we need to follow the NFL rules. They need to come up with their own set of rules. They need to change things around, and I think that they can succeed. But, Chris, it sounds like you were going to say something.
No, I like watching the different variations of different football leagues, and I think the XFL could have survived if it wasn't for COVID. I think it wouldn't have folded, too soon. I know it's coming back in 2023. Mm-hmm. So,
okay,
yeah.
Well, yes, because the Rock and because the Rock and I forgot who else it was. They bought it, and they said it's going to be coming back in 2023.
If it's the people I think of, it's Rock and his ex-wife, who's his business partner. I
believe. Yeah.
But they partnered up with the CFL a little bit, haven't they?
They were. They were talks of it, but they stopped.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
But this year the USFL will survive. I'm not sure in 2023 how that's going to work. Scheduling is kind of working against one another. Being in the spring. So it'd be interesting. I think the first year the USFL will survive, though.
Well, the only way it won't is if something happens like the XFL. If the USFL comes out and they're right in the middle of a pandemic like it was, and they have to shut down because of COVID. But that was the only reason why they had to shut down, or else they would have been just fine.
What are the 8 teams? I quickly saw the article.
So it was Tampa. It was Tampa Bay. It was Las Vegas. It was Houston. Hold on, I'm actually looking it up now. USFL 2022. So the 8 teams that they had that they were unveiling coming back was so in the Northern Division, because they're going to have 2 divisions. They're going to have the Northern Division and they're going to have the Southern Division. Okay. So in the Northern Division, they're going to have the Michigan Panthers.
Okay.
They're going to have the New Jersey Generals.
Okay.
They're going to have the Philadelphia Stars.
Okay.
And the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Okay.
And then in the Southern Division, they're going to have the Birmingham Stallions, the Houston Gamblers, the New Orleans Breakers, and the Tampa Bay Bandits.
And apparently these were original names from the original.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Originally,
so, you've got football markets in there: Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Houston, New Orleans, Tampa.
But people were complaining people were complaining that they're not new markets.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to always get. That's the thing. You're not going to always get new markets. I mean, when you look at
No.
somebody like St. Louis, who used to have a team, and then
Right.
they went to LA, but then they ended up getting that whole lawsuit thing figured out against the Rams because there's this huge lawsuit. You have teams like St. Louis and Oakland and potentially New Mexico and potentially Portland. You have those places like that they have to see, is it a good football market? Like you can sit there,
Oh, yeah.
there and complain and be like, well, people want these teams to go here or go there, but is it a good enough market? And that's the thing. We don't know what the market is going to be like. If a team came to Portland, Oregon here, what's the market going to be like? We have no idea. Would it fail? Would it succeed? In St. Louis, it didn't work out because it wasn't a huge market. And St. Louis kept coming out. The Rams kept coming out being like, we're not making enough money here. We're not generating enough revenue because it wasn't there.
I mean, if you're rebooting something or bringing something new, you want to be in the markets that it's going to succeed in. So I don't blame them for that. But like the NFL, if they want to be like, you know what? Let's go throw a team in Portland. It's going to succeed because it's the NFL branding. But if the UCFL or XFL is like, hey, we want to put a team in Utah. Well, we don't know what Utah's market is, or it's not a strong backing. So you're going to start off when you start off something, you're going to put it in the markets that it's going to succeed in.
In every football league is different. What may work for this league may not work for another league.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's like you said, we're talking about markets here, Chris. Yeah. And so when you look at markets, the thing you want to look at with markets is just like Big B said, if you're starting a new league, you can't be venturous at that point and be like, well, we're going to go ahead and stick a team in Portland. We're going to go ahead and stick a team in St. Louis. We're going to go ahead and stick a team in New Mexico. These are things you can't do because you don't know what the market's going to be like. And if you go out there and you start this new league and it doesn't work, you're going to end up folding because there's nothing there. So it's not a league that you can immediately just kind of go out there and say, yes, we're going to do this. So they're doing the right thing by going to the markets that can succeed and actually have viable.
Have a fan base. I mean, so
the only ones that I truly question that I look at this and I'm like, not really quite sure how it's going to work out. Number one, Michigan. I'm not sure. Really not sure yet.
Michigan got to root for Detroit. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So you have Michigan there because you have when you look at Detroit at the Detroit side of things, especially with sports, you have the Tigers. They haven't been that good for a while.
Did they say where Michigan's going to play at? I mean, that might be a thing too. I mean,
they have not said that yet,
okay.
But it's like I said, so you look at Michigan, you have the Tigers. They haven't been good for a while. You have the Lions, who we know they have been an atrocity, so they haven't been good for a long time. And then you have the atrocious Pistons that have not been good for a long time. And then you have the Red Wings that are also in rebuild. So they haven't really had, very much success either.
Yeah,
so
the thing with Michigan, depending on where they put them at, I mean, I guess if they show them on TV, but let's say traveling-wise, if they put them close to Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois, you're going to get you might get fans drawn from those three states, along with Michigan. So, it's an NFL market, so I mean, it's a good move for them. But again, like you said, the support might not be there just for Michigan. They might have to put it to where it's closer for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois to kind of travel to and be like, hey, so.
Yeah, because people in Michigan, they're going to be like, I'm tired of seeing my teams fail, so I don't know if I really want to do this again. But then the other one I question is Birmingham, because you look at Alabama. They don't really have any professional sports teams there.
Well, Bama is a football state. I mean,
they're a football state. They're a college football state. And so that's why I'm saying, can they succeed?
Well,
It kind of worked. It kind of worked with the AAF.
Kind of.
I mean, they're good towards the end of the season, so.
But Bama
Yeah.
could be one of those. You got a lot of kids that don't get drafted. They got a Birmingham pro team. They might get a lot of Bama, cast-offs. So it's not one of the first markets I would probably try to start a franchise in, but it's not. It's probably in the middle where if I had a list of teams to start in. I mean, like you said, Bama has a good following in college. It might, if they get some Bama guys, then that might help them out some.
All right. Yeah. Maybe some of us from coast to coast will go and try out for the Birmingham.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. But
Never know.
All right. So how about we go ahead and jump into our next topic, which I brought this up because this was a story that came out. There was a source that was coming out that's saying that after the Thanksgiving game, Matt Nagy is going to get fired. That was a source. But then the chairman of the Chicago Bears, he came out and says that that's false, that they're not going to fire Matt Nagy after Thanksgiving. So he called it false news. He said that that's not accurate at all. They never came out. They never said that. That was never an internal discussion.
Internal, I guarantee.
However, my opinion on that is, of course, he's going to cover it up.
Yep.
Because they probably haven't said anything yet to Nagy. So if all this stuff is dropping and Nagy's looking on there saying, what? There's a source that's saying this? Am I really going to get fired after Thanksgiving? Of course they're going to come out and be like, no, Nagy, we're not saying that. We never said that. Because they don't want Matt Nagy to find out like that. But anyway,
Right.
So Big B, do you actually believe the chairman when he says, nah, we never said that?
You can't believe anybody in sports that's a higher up because, like you said, Ace, they're going to paint the perfect picture. It's just like, oh, we hear that you had talks to trade so and so. No, we like him. The phones rang, but we haven't had serious discussions about it. They probably have talked about it. They're like, yeah, Thursday if we lose, he's gone. So. And it leaked out. No matter what, Nagy's gone. It's like, how are you going to win? How are you going to fire a guy after a win? I mean, not many coaches do. I mean, yeah, we know. Ace, me, and you know a few Bear fans. We got Bear fans that are on the network. They want Nagy gone. But again, how are you going to fire a guy after he wins? I think something was said. I think somebody leaked it out, and I mean, we all know Nagy's probably on the hottest seat that there is right now going. So, yeah, I can't believe the chairman because he's going to toe the company line and say, oh, no, that's not what we discussed. And so,
well, I'm guaranteeing it now, though. I'm guaranteeing if Chicago comes out and loses to Detroit tomorrow, Nagy's gone. I mean, I don't see.
Yeah.
But the thing is we're in Nagy's shoes and, we're going to fire this guy by the end of the week. It's like, why wait? I mean, if I went to my job and heard, hey, I heard they're talking in the conference room that you're getting fired. Like, what? Why would they wait?
Well, because I think the reason for waiting, and I could be wrong on this, but
for a week.
But because it's a short week, I think that's why they would wait because they're like, it's a short week. They played Sunday. You're going on a short week to Thursday. And you're like, and if you fire Nagy, then it's hard to get a different game plan in place with the new interim coach because you have to hire a new interim coach. You have to let the league know. They have to get a game plan going. But if the Bears were going to do it, this would be the perfect time to do it after the Thanksgiving game because now it gives you a longer week to prep for it.
No, I get what you're saying there, but you fire a coach on Monday. Typically, the interim coach is going to be a coordinator. So
right.
There ain't going to be too much difference. But, no, the short week is why they're preventing it. And like you said, Ace, they fire them after Thursday loss, or if they do fire them just because it's Friday, then they got all next week because they don't play on Sunday, all next week to get a new game plan, new system in there. go out and call Isaiah because he said he wants to be a coach. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you just don't know at this point.
But
But
I'm with you, Ace. I think he's gone.
potentially after this game. I mean, whatever source it was that said it, I believe the source. I truly believe the source. I don't believe the chairman at all. I think he's just covering up for it. I really think that's what it is.
But down 21-0 at halftime, Nagy doesn't come out of the locker room.
He's gone at halftime.
The article said report Nagy looks to be out, after the game. It didn't say, is Nagy going to be out after this game? It wasn't an opinion article. It was like a factual thing of, he's going to be out after this week.
Yeah, somebody in that meeting they had leaked it. Maybe it was Nagy himself, maybe it was Nagy's agent, just didn't want to be identified. So
somebody knows something.
Exactly. And like you said, when the chairman, CEO, general manager, whoever, they come out and say, "Oh no, that's how we know something was said. We're not done. We weren't born last night."
Chris, what is your opinion on this?
Yeah, I think he's gone. I mean, he had a successful couple years. He went to a playoff or two, but I think his time's done. I don't know who's going to step in his place, though, for the remaining, 21 season, but I think it's time for him to go.
Oh, it would be a coordinator that would step in.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I'm
not sure who that would be.
Oh.
So
maybe they call Mike Dick and bring him back for 6 games.
You know what I would really laugh about, right? This is what I would find funny. So after all this time, if the Bears fans were going, fire Nagy, they fire Nagy, and then next year it comes out and says, the Chicago Bears' new head coach, Jason Garrett.
Oh, no.
So you would go from Matt Nagy to Jason Garrett.
Honestly, if the other guys, I mean, if the Bears' job's open, I think Harbaugh is going to be your guy for Michigan. I don't think he's going to last this year in Michigan, so I would say Harbaugh would be the guy to go to Chicago.
Well,
but it would be ironic if Garrett did go there.
He might, though. He might last at Michigan because right now they're sitting at number 6 in the rankings. And let's say
Michigan wants to be at Ohio State, and he hasn't got over the hump.
Yeah, but I'm saying let's say that Michigan somehow pulls off the upset against Ohio State and wins the Big Ten. There's no way, no way Harbaugh's getting fired.
No way. So I mean, now you're at the Garrett thing, or maybe call Mike Singletary and see if he wants to come back into coaching.
I don't think he's doing commercials right now.
Who's that?
Singletary.
What?
He could, yeah, but you do know that Jason Garrett was just fired from being offensive coordinator. And
he's going to Raiders after this coming cycle.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That would be something.
I'm just saying because Rod Marino is there. He was with the Cowboys with Garrett.
Well, we call Jason Garrett Mr. 8-8. So that's
3 years in a row in Dallas.
Yep, Mr. 8-8 because he could never get over the hump of 8-8. He seemed to never be able to do that. But so I think we're all in agreement that pretty much Matt Nagy is going to be gone after the Thanksgiving Day game, and they're going to go with an interim coach. Who knows? It could be the defensive coordinator in Sean Desai. We just don't know. But Nate is leaving some comments here saying, I think the Bears will win and Nagy's still gone. Well, I'm telling you, I think the Bears are going to win too. It doesn't matter if Justin Fields or Andy Dalton's starting. Did you see Tim Boyle in his first start? I mean, that was horrible. He threw for 77 yards and 2 interceptions.
They still almost won.
Stafford's
and they
play.
still almost won.
They're saying Stafford's playing.
No, Stafford is playing for the Rams.
You're thinking Goff?
No, Goff. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Goff.
If Goff plays, I think the Lions have a better chance of winning. Ace, I know you commented quite a few times on my page. So you're like, picking the Lions. You pick them all the time. I think third week, Lions are at home. I think Lions are going to win.
Well,
you'll be right once. You'll be right.
But that's why I messaged you, because like every week you send me pics and I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're picking the Lions.
I mean,
every
honestly,
single
that
week.
might be the only one that thinks this. I don't think the Lions are an 0-8 or 0-9 team. I think they're
No, I
playing a
don't think
little
so
bit better than that. I'm not saying that they should be top of the hill. I mean, give me 3-4 wins, but I think they're better than their record indicates.
But yes, Chris, I just looked and it did come out and say that Jared Goff plans to start tomorrow. So the plan is right now is that he plans to start. So who knows?
I plan to start for the Vikings too, but they just haven't called me yet.
Exactly. I was getting the arm all warmed up, thinking, that a team might call me, and I was sitting here, my phone was on, and every time it rang, I'm looking down, I'm like, oh nope, it's not an NFL team. Nope, it's not. So yeah, I was never getting that phone call. But anyway, so he's also saying, what if the announcer announces it at halftime? Nagy doesn't come out after half, and they go, Nagy's fired. That would be funny.
That would be the first time.
You heard it here first. I mean, I said it. But.
Exactly.
That would not be the first time that happened, sort of. No,
but it would be. There was only one time that I recall, and it wasn't even a head coach. It was a player who retired at halftime.
Yep.
That's I know. Who
was
it?
Was it a Bills player?
It was a Bills player. It was Davis. It was I'm trying to think of his first name.
Because the only player I can think of that ever left the game in the middle of a game was John Kruk when he got his got a hit. I think it was his 2000 or 3000 hit. He's like, yeah, I'm done.
No, it was Vontae Davis. He he started his career with the Dolphins, and then they traded him to the Colts, and he played most of his career with the Colts, and then he went to the Bills, and then the Bills were so bad that season that in that game I think they were playing the Patriots, and they were losing like 38-0 at halftime, and he comes in and he's like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm retiring now. I'm cleaning out my locker. I'm gone."
Wasn't it after like his first or second game with the Bills?
It was after his second game, and he comes out and says, "Yep, I'm done. I'm retiring."
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, "You're retiring at halftime? Are you kidding me?"
It could be like, I mean, the Bears could be like the movie Varsity Blues, where they go in and the coach is trying to get them all hyped up, and they come out and it's the guy on the injured list is running the team, because they fired the coach.
Right? Yeah, but. That was like, and the thing is like they completely destroyed Vontae Davis for it.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many people. There were so many people who were looking at Davis going, "How the heck do you abandon your team at halftime? How do you go out and retire at halftime? I don't get it." And I'm like, you know what? I don't know how you retire at halftime either. That's just crazy.
I mean, we've all, Chris, I really don't know if you play sports, but I know Ace and I have, and. Yeah, to have a teammate come in, soccer, whatever sport, baseball, and be like, you know what, guys, we're getting smoked. I'm done packing it up. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'd probably lose some respect for him. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, you are there when we win, and now we're getting beat, and you're just like, yeah, you know what, I'm done.
You know what, I'm done, right? Yeah. No, I get it. But yeah, we have a lot of other topics that we can talk about here. There's some good topics, and so our next one, speaking of the games, we're talking about there's 3 games tomorrow. Yep. You have the first game, which is going to be, let's say, the game of the year. You're going to have the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. You're going to have Andy Dalton against potentially Jared Goff. The second game, you're going to have the Cowboys versus the rapidly declining Raiders. I mean, they are just on a tailspin right now. They can't figure nothing out. I mean, they can't figure out anything offensively. They can't figure anything out defensively. Their head coach is gone. Their Henry Ruggs is gone. I mean, this team is just complete on a downward spiral. So Las Vegas has just not looked good over the last several weeks. They just have not. It looks like they have no life left in them whatsoever. It looks like they're not playing for anything right now. So I'm telling you, the first game might be good. It might be a decent game because Jared Goff's playing, which is so weird to say that I'm saying it might be better because Jared Goff's playing. But you have Jared Goff or Tim Boyle. And so I think with Jared Goff in the game, which is really weird, that a team has a better chance to win with Jared Goff at quarterback. That is crazy to say. And then Andy Dalton on the other side. I still think that the Bears win. I still think they do.
Yeah.
But I think Jared Goff gives them the better chance. So I think that the game might be good. It might be, I'm going to say it might be about a 7 to 10 point game, but it still might be a good game. The second game, I don't think it's going to be close because right now the Raiders are not showing any life whatsoever. I don't think the Raiders are going to score very much. I think it's going to probably be like a 30 to 10 game because right now Las Vegas is just not good. And then you have the final game of the night, which is the Saints versus the Bills, which you have kind of two teams that are kind of similar. What I mean by that is that you have a Saints team who started out really good, but then their starting quarterback, Jameis Winston, gets hurt. He tears his ACL. He's gone for the season. Now they're stuck with Trevor Siemian. And then you have a Buffalo Bills team that everybody had projected to potentially represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And now you're seeing that the Buffalo Bills this year in the AFC have not been doing very good. The Buffalo Bills as of late have been struggling. So you look at the Saints and you look at the Bills. I think that the Bills get back on track in this game and they win this game because, last week they got blown out by the Colts. Absolutely blown out. Jonathan Taylor goes off for 5 touchdowns against Buffalo. I don't know what's going on with Buffalo, but I take them in this game. So I'm taking Chicago in game 1. I'm taking Dallas in game 2, and then I'm going to take Buffalo in game 3. So, Big B, I'll go to you. What do you expect to see tomorrow, and who are you taking for your 3 games tomorrow?
Man, I expect to see a lot of videos of the cheerleaders because I think these games are going to be kind of wishy-washy. And the first game that you suggested, being that they're at home, I think Detroit got a little bit of an upper hand. Maybe a little bit more Goff plays. I don't know. I just can't trust the Bears right now. And with everything going on, who knows what the mood of the locker room is going to be in right now. So I got Detroit. Dallas, they're at home. They should have beat Kansas City. They did show up. I think they're going to show up and put a real good licking on the Raiders. Chris, so you should be happy there. The Buffalo Saints game is the one that kind of intrigues me the most because I picked the Bills to win, but I have a sneaky feeling, being that it's a short week again, the Saints might pull it off just because they're at home. So that game might be the close one, might be an overtime game, and come down to, our favorite position, the kicker, getting the game-winning field goal. So that game I'm about 50-50 on, but for picks purposes, I'll go with the Bills.
I figured out your strategy, Big B. I figured it out. When it comes to the Lions, I figured it out because you're like, you know what? If I pick the Lions every week, I'm going to be right at some point. So I figured out your strategy.
I ain't going to gloat about it if I'm right because, like you said, I picked them almost every week. Because honestly, I don't think they're an 0-9 team. I think they're playing a little bit better than that. Just some bad lucks. If they've had luck go their right way, they'd be, close to 500, just like the Vikings. Vikings have had 8 games where it's come down to the last play. Bad luck, and they're, 2 and whatever. So
yeah, because definitely when you look at the Lions, there's like 3 or 4 games that they potentially should have won.
Exactly.
They lost on a 66-yard field goal to the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. That's a game that the Lions should have won.
On a technicality, too.
Well,
it would have been a game, supposedly.
But
it would have been a delay of game.
Yeah, but you can't really go into that technicality
No.
because
I'm just saying.
even if you're saying, okay, it's a technicality, it was delay of game, the Ravens had a 4th and 19. So how does the Lions defense allow the Ravens to pick up a 4th and 19?
Yeah.
I get it.
That never should have happened. So that's that one game that I'm like, the Lions never should have lost that because they never should have allowed Baltimore to pick up the 4th and 19. And then somehow Justin Tucker makes this miraculous 66-yard field goal. And then think about when they played Chicago the first time.
Yep.
They had the ball in Chicago territory inside the red zone 5 times. 5. And you score 2 touchdowns with no field goals. You scored 2 touchdowns. And you end up losing. It was like 24-14 was the final score. Because they couldn't score when they got in the red zone. So that was a game that they could have won too.
The Vikings game. They should have beat the Vikings.
Yeah, they could have beat them too.
To me, the Vikings are playing when they get up. They play not to lose the game, or not win the game because they get up so quickly and then they kind of just coast. They play prevent defense. I don't know what they play, but yeah, the Vikings should have lost to the Lions. I mean, that's one game, and then the Pittsburgh game they tied. They should have won that one.
They tied that one, yeah.
Yeah, so you're looking at, like I said, I think they're just a different 0-9 team that we've seen. I think they're a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit better.
Well, yeah, because right now they could be sitting at 3 or 4 wins easily.
Yep, exactly.
Easily. One way or another, the ball goes. They're sitting at 3 or 4 wins.
And I know somebody's watching and be like, well, any team could say that. You're exactly right.
Exactly.
The Packers could be undefeated if, few balls bounce this way. I mean, Lions right now are just having a bad case of the luck right now. They're having bad luck right now.
But that's typical Detroit fashion.
Yeah, that is true
like
too.
Every year, the Lions seem to amaze people on how they find ways to lose games. That's the Lions.
They have a win or 2 or 3 by now. Being 0-9. I mean, they just.
Well, that was when Matthew Stafford was there. Yeah, but
exactly. You're right. It is a different quarterback, and we're still seeing the same Lions team.
But right now, what I'm saying is this is their typical MO. They find ways to where they're like, oh, we have this game in the bag. We're going to win. And then you're like, really? You had 15 seconds left in the game and you found a way to lose. I don't get it. It's the typical fashion. But
I understand that.
All right, so Chris, we're looking ahead to tomorrow's games. What are you expecting tomorrow?
I am expecting, well, I don't know about expecting for this one, but I'm thinking the Bears will win the game, for the first one. Andy Dalton's playing, and I feel
do you have a close game?
Yeah, I would say close, maybe 23-21.
Okay.
Wow, where are you finding the other 40-some points that they're going to score between the two teams?
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't think because the Bears have a difficult time putting up a lot of points, and the Lions have a difficult time putting up a lot of points.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the Cowboys-Raiders game, I'm picking the Cowboys.
Oh, what a shock!
That's a shocker.
Not always.
No, Chris, you're honest.
I would pick. I would go with 17-14.
Wow, you're picking a close one to that one. Wow, that's a shocker.
So Chris, let me ask you a question.
That's a shocker.
Let me ask you a question. All right.
Yeah.
You could be right. You never know. It could be a low-scoring game with Dallas and the Raiders. But my question is this. You know how bad the Raiders have been.
Yeah.
You know how bad their defense is.
Yeah.
The Raiders can't stop anybody.
Well, we said that about the Chiefs last week, too, and look what they did to Dallas.
That's true. And then also on our side, though, we're losing key players,
but
we have to play what we have on the roster, and that's why
you're gonna go out and win it for Jason Garrett tomorrow.
Yeah, Jason, you're gonna win. Yeah, you're gonna go out and win it for him.
There you go. And then for the Saints and Steelers, or no, Saints and Bills, right?
Yeah.
Saints and Bills.
I feel like Bills will win that game.
Well, they should anyways. Now,
They should, yeah.
now the thing is I know that people are coming out and saying that the Cowboys are playing without Cooper and Lamb tomorrow, but the thing is they're playing without Cooper, but that's actually not accurate about CeeDee Lamb because right now the Cowboys have come out and said right now CeeDee Lamb is actually on track to play tomorrow. He's on track. That's what they came out and said. So he's on the right track to play. So right now it's about 75-25 that he will or won't play, with 75 being in the right direction that Lamb will play tomorrow. So
I truthfully think he'll sit out.
I think he'll play. I really think he will.
I think he'll sit out only because you're going to have a week after this game. You're going to play the Saints on Thursday night.
Even if he doesn't play, though, even if Lamb doesn't play, you should still be able to beat the Raiders.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying. I think you should hit them a week.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like you should still. There you go. Love you. You should still be able to beat them with who you got, minus Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, because of the general fact that the Raiders haven't really been able to stop anybody anyway.
No, I totally agree. I do. I just think that those.
I think, Chris, I think you're right. If they would have beat Kansas City, then you rest your guys. But Jerry Jones does not like to lose at home, and he doesn't like to lose back-to-back games. So at 75%, he's making sure everybody's playing. So.
Oh, absolutely.
And at 75%, like Ace said, you should be able to beat the Raiders.
You should now. If they were the Raiders team that started the year, then I might say it's a little bit different. But with the way they've been playing over the last 3 weeks, I'll be like, nah. This Raiders team, you can beat them. You can beat this Raiders team.
It'd probably be a closer game if it was the Raiders that started off the season. But
yeah. All right, so now we'll go into our next topic, which
I brought this up. Bills pick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Chris, did you pick your Bills?
Yeah, I think he did.
I picked Bills. Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was saying I was pretty sure he chose the Bills.
I did.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Shut up, Brandon. All right. Well, anyway. All right. Well, anyway.
I miss that so much. Vic, I hope you're listening. I hope you get better.
So then we go into the next one, which this one actually amazed me. When this broke and I saw this, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So Wander Franco for the Tampa Bay Rays played in 70 games last year, not even a full season, and had, I think it was like 8 home runs and like 20-some RBIs and batted like, I don't know, I think it was like a 270 or something like that. Hits a couple home runs in the postseason, had like 4 runs batted in. Like, oh, this guy's our future. They give him a 12-year contract for $223 million, and he hasn't even played a full season yet. So, Big B, what are your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Rays being like, we're going to give this guy, it wasn't the biggest contract in history, but it reached the top 5 mark of contracts, and the guy hasn't even played a full season.
I want to go back, and I want to go first by the DeLorean, go back to my freshman high school, go back to myself as a freshman and say, hey, keep your act together, stay in shape, and sky's the limit in baseball because, man, they're throwing around money like they're playing Monopoly. I mean, like you said, Ace, the guy hasn't even played not even just a half a season. He hasn't even played, what, a third of a season? I mean, I don't know how many games he got into, but
he played it was somewhere around like 72 or 73 games or something like that.
But I mean, that's like getting a new employee, comes in and he does decent for you. Be like, you know what, we're going to give you a $20 an hour raise, but you've only been with us for a month, and we like your potential. We think you're the, up and coming management material, whatever. I mean, they broke the bank on this guy. And this is why a lot of people think Tampa Bay needs to like relocate because they just one can't draw the fans. Even on a team, even on the year they win the World Series or make the playoffs, they still can't draw fans. I don't get it. I don't understand why. Well, this is one reason why baseball needs some kind of salary cap. I think we all can agree on that. But
Oh yeah.
I just don't get why we're shelling out this much money to athletes in general. But I just, man, yeah, when I saw this, I was kind of sick to my stomach. I'm just like, really? The guy's played under a half a season. He's done this. I mean, they hyped him up when he first came up, and I think he did phenomenal when he first came up, but he fell off. So I think that one, you're not going to see. He's not going to see 12 years in a Rays uniform. We'll count that right now. You know, so I hope there's some ways to get out of there. Oh boy,
There's Isaiah. Well, so here's his contract, okay? Or not really the contract, but this was his stats. His stats was simply this. So in his games played, and I was right the first time, he played in 70 games. That was how many games he played in. He had 283 at-bats.
Okay.
He had 53 runs, 81 hits, 18 doubles, 5 triples, 7 home runs, 39 RBIs. He walked 24 times. He struck out 37 times. He stole 2 bases, was caught stealing once, and he batted a .288.
Remind me, what position does he play again?
He actually is a shortstop.
Okay. I don't know. They in my eyes, they've overpaid for him. I mean,
I agree.
Wait, so hold on. So Nate is coming out saying it is the second biggest steal in MLB history. Now I'm hoping he's talking about like on the side
of the player.
Of the player. I hope you're not talking about the actual organization because that's not a steal at all with the organization.
Yeah, I think he spelled the name wrong, but I think he is talking playing with Bobby Bonilla. You know, you can throw Chris Davis in there with the Orioles because now he's got that nice Bobby Bonilla contract. So
Isaiah, what we're talking about here, just kind of catch you up. We're talking about the Wander Franco deal. We're talking about the Wander Franco deal, who hasn't even played a full season in MLB. He's played in 70 games, and the Rays are already looking at this guy like he's the future, and they gave him a 12-year contract for $223 million. So tell me, what is your thoughts on this? The guy hasn't even played a full season.
Well, first of all, what's up, guys? Glad to join you guys here on this fabulous Wednesday evening. You know, I had a arduous journey that I just came back from, so glad that I was able to make it for like the last portion of the show. I would say my thoughts on it is I think 223 million it was.
Yeah.
That's too much, man. For a guy that's only played in 70 games, that's way too much. I would have understand like 7 years or 12 years and, you know, maybe get him for like 150 million. Fine. But 223 million for a guy that's only played 70 games is way too much. He didn't even play half the major league season, and you're giving him all this money. Like, he's talented, yes, but we've seen guys before that first on the scene, they look really, really good, and then people figure them out, and they don't make any adjustments whatsoever, and then they flame out. So I just think it's way too much, and I think that the Rays, even though I think that they could have maybe locked him up later on, like after a couple of more years, they should have done that instead of locking him up right now, because you're basically taking a gamble that this guy, his talent will obviously translate, but that, you know, he will be able to make the necessary adjustments to counter what everybody else in the league is throwing at him once they figure him out.
Obviously the Rays are seeing something that we're not seeing. Like, the Rays have to be seeing something. I just don't get it right now.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, what was he like in the minors? You come up. I mean, the only thing I think that the Rays gain from this, if he does become the face of the franchise superstar like they're predicting, he doesn't go into arbitration years. So he's locked in at this for 12 years. So they avoid that. They avoid the big arbitration hearings and all that. big raises. So that's the one thing that I think that they hit on. That they don't have to worry about him, coming up and be like, hey, I did this, I should get a raise. So, I mean, he's locked in for this for 12 years. So, we'll see
Yeah.
where it goes.
But he's
Is there an
guaranteed.
opt-out clause?
Huh?
Is there an opt-out clause in the contract?
No, not really. But because his
If it is, there'll be a team option.
when it comes to his contract, his guaranteed money on the contract is $183 million. Is guaranteed money. So whether they go 3 years down the road and they're like, well, crap, this guy isn't what we thought he was. Guess what? He has $183 million of guaranteed money.
Well,
So-
that's why I said the only thing that the Rays gain out of this is they don't go into that arbitration.
Yeah,
stuff,
but then if you find out he's not your guy
Well,
and
must.
he's not good, then you're stuck because nobody else is going to take on that contract.
Nope.
And if they don't take on the contract and you want to let him go, you still have to pay this guy his full $183 million.
Yep. Like Ace, or I'm going to take a page out of Isaiah's book. They're putting all their chips in. They got pocket aces right now going up against a possible straight flush, stuff like that. So they got all their chips in on this one guy. And, if they hit the river and they cash out on him, great. But if they don't, man, they're in for a long rebuilding season. I mean,
I just think it's too much to risk. Right now, I just think it is way too much to risk.
That's like taking all of our 4 paychecks and we're going to the casino. We're going to put out $00.
Right,
It's a
exactly.
risk.
Because you have no idea. That's
Yep,
the thing.
exactly.
And so, Chris, what did you have to say?
Yeah. Oh, I'm just listening. No, it's a lot of money to spend on a player that you don't really know about because he played so little, last season. But maybe they know something we don't. I'm not quite sure. Because he's with the team, a lot, and we just see him on TV for a little bit.
Yeah,
So-
well, they better know something that we don't know because I'll tell you, if this doesn't work out, Rays fans are not going to be happy. Like
Well,
they're
no,
going to be like, "What are you doing?"
You know what the other 31 teams fans are all saying? Thank God it's not us.
Right, exactly. They're like, I'm glad we're not taking that risk.
Yeah.
Like the last time they said that a deal was made like this with a guy who didn't play a full season was actually Ronald Acuna for us. Now we did not pay him that. We gave him 7 years for $100 million. But we were able to see what Ronald Acuna had. We saw what he had. He played about a full year, and then we offered him the contract. So I'm like, okay. And so I was like, hey, we saw what we had. But with him, he hasn't even played a full season.
So they're taking the 70 games plus whatever his minor league stats were and be like, you know what? We're going all in on this guy. He's going to be our franchise, or we're going to fail with him. So
I don't know, man. I just don't see it. Not right now.
I'd like to take. I can tell you that.
All right, so we're almost there, but I'm going to get Isaiah caught up so he can give us our final thoughts on the topics that we went through. So, Isaiah, our topic number 1 that we talked about, I don't know if you've heard, but we discussed it. We talked about the USFL that is supposed to be coming back in 2022. It's the football league that was here from 83 to 86, and it folded in 86. It's now coming back in 2022 with 8 franchises starting out. Now, we've seen this plenty of times with football leagues to where they try and start them and then they fail. So what's your thoughts on them trying to bring back the USFL?
Well, I think it's a good idea because it means more football for us. So that definitely I will be tuning in. But I wish them good luck, because like you said, there's a lot of these football leagues that always start up and then they always fail. So, I mean, maybe this time will be different. Who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see. But I'll say this, though. If they have, 8 franchises, right? 8 franchises. Yeah. One of the franchises has got to be in Hawaii. Put a team, a professional sports team, in the islands. Please, like not every state in America has a major professional sports team, or who knows, that might be the case. But the islands needs a major professional sports team, whether it's hockey, baseball, NBA, I don't even know, NA or not NHL, but if there's a professional frisbee league, I don't care. Put a professional sports team of any kind on the islands. It will generate revenue for sure.
So the 8 teams that they're having, just to tell you, the 8 teams that they're having a team in Michigan. They're having a team in New Jersey. They're having a team in Birmingham. They're having a team in Tampa Bay. They are having a team in, I'm drawing a blank here, guys. Yeah, they're having a team in Houston.
Pittsburgh, Philly.
They're having a team in Pittsburgh. They're having a team in Philly.
Yeah.
So they're already going with proven states that have succeeded with football, minus Birmingham, because Birmingham hasn't really had an NFL a professional sports team really, so they're going to see how that goes. And then Michigan, we're going to see how that goes because they have the Lions, and that's setting up for failure. But anyway, so those are the 8 teams that are there. So unfortunately for you, Isaiah, it's not Hawaii. I'm sorry, just breaking that news to you.
Isaiah, you want a team in Hawaii? Buy Madden and put a football team in Hawaii.
There you go.
Well, I did that when I was playing Madden. I created my own team and I put in Hawaii. And you know how Madden's got those like newspapers, right? Mm-hmm. So the newspaper for my team was fans outraged at the Niners owner for moving team to Hawaii.
That's funny.
The Niners.
All right, so then the next topic that you missed that we'll get into. So the chairman for the Chicago Bears came out and said that source, that leak that somebody was talking about, that Matt Nagy was going to get fired after the Thanksgiving Day game, the chairman came out and said that was not accurate, that was false. They never said that. What is your thoughts? Do you believe the source or do you believe the chairman of the Chicago Bears?
Always in these situations, I always believe the source, because the chairman or the coach or the president or the GM, they're never going to come out publicly and say like, oh yeah, we said that the coach is going to get fired. Like, they're never going to do that. So I believe more of the source, because the source has like the inside intel of what's actually going on inside the building, whether it's true or false or not. Someone told that source, that person from inside the organization, so they should have heard it from inside the organization. So for me, I trust the source more than I do to the chairman, just because I don't really trust like anytime like the president of football operations or the president of the team or the chairman or the coach or the GM, anytime they come out and say something, if it's not regarding injuries, it's always probably a lie, because they don't want to give out their plans and they don't want to throw people under the bus and say, oh yeah, Matt Nagy's going to be fired after this game. Because if that's the case, then if I'm Matt Nagy, why am I even coaching this game? If I'm already going to get let go, why am I even going to coach this game? I might as well just throw this game in favor of the Detroit Lions. Maybe call some plays in favor of the Detroit Lions at this point. So that's why I don't believe this. I don't believe the chairman. I believe the source.
Or just quit at halftime.
Yeah, which you basically said everything that we were saying. We don't buy it. We don't believe that they haven't talked about it, because of course the chairman's going to come out and say that, because that's what he's going to do. I don't buy what the chairman's saying. I really don't. I believe the source. I believe that if they're coming out saying he's going to get fired, he's going to get fired. And so I would not be surprised if it happens after the Thanksgiving Day game.
Something Isaiah said kind of cracks me up. Did you guys see, let's say Nagy's like, oh, they're going to fire me. They want me to coach. Okay, I'm going to change it up. Starting at quarterback, Khalil Mack. Playing quarterback,
Yeah, which Khalil Mack is out for the season.
I know, but that's the only bear I could think of that would have made it funny. That
the kicker. Start the kicker instead.
Start the kicker quarterback. There you go.
Yep, we're starting. Hey, let's not forget the time that Tom Tupa started at quarterback for the Jets and threw for like 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. So let's not forget that. Yeah. And and he had to play for 3 quarters. So, all right. And then our final one before we wrap it up, Isaiah, this is your final topic because we already talked about it. What are you expecting in the 3 NFL games tomorrow? Chris and I took the Bears to beat the Lions because it's going to be Andy Dalton versus Jared Goff. And then all 3 of us took the Cowboys to beat the Raiders because the Raiders are on a downhill spiral. And then I think all 3 of us took the Bills to beat the Saints.
Okay.
What are you expecting tomorrow out of these 3 games? Do you expect close games, blowouts, and who are you taking?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to be watching the first 2 games because it's not that those 2 games are bad. It's because I will be at Spartan Stadium in San Jose to watch San Jose State versus Fresno State. And I got an amazing package that includes free mashed potatoes and a turkey sandwich for $20 and a game ticket. So I'm definitely not turning that down. So that's how I'm going to be spending my Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving morning and afternoon. But about these games, I'm actually going to go with Detroit. I'm going to go with Detroit to beat the Bears. Not because
I just lost that game.
Not because I think Detroit is the better team, but because I think that the Bears players, I mean, come on, who doesn't read social media these days? Like all the people saying, oh, I don't read social media, I don't read Twitter, I don't read Facebook, I don't read any of those reports. They're flat out lying. Everybody reads social media these days. So I'm pretty sure the Bears players are fully aware of what's going on. They're fully aware that Matt Nagy is going to be fired after this game if they lose. So I just think that right now the entire Bears team, the locker room, is just really disoriented right now. And I think that they're going to come out and be like, they're going to not play with full passion and full heart because they're just like, I mean, we're regardless of whether we win or lose, our coach is going to get fired. So why should we even give our full effort to win on Thanksgiving Day? Plus, we're already out of the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Detroit. Plus, it's in Detroit. Their home fans are going to be in it because they want to win their first game. So give me Detroit. Raiders, Cowboys. Man, I'm going with Dallas. I'm going to go with Dallas, Chris's team, because like you said, the Raiders are on a down spiral right now. I just can't trust the Raiders. Their defense has been getting exposed time and time again. Plus, I need Ezekiel Elliott to go off in this game because I have him for fantasy. So I'm biased. For biased reasons, I need the Cowboys to win. And what was the last game?
Bills and Saints.
Oh, I need the Bills to absolutely crush the Saints because my Niners and the Saints are in a playoff battle right now for one of the NFC wildcard spots. So I definitely need the Saints to lose. And with Trevor Siemian going up against Josh Allen, I mean that's your quarterback matchup, and that's your matchup right there. So give me the Buffalo Bills to win this one and to win this game by, I would say, by a couple of touchdowns.
Well, crap. So I apologize for anybody who took the Lions and the Cowboys and the Bills because it looks like we're going to all be screwed tomorrow. Especially because I immediately heard Big B once Isaiah said, I'm taking the Lions. Like, crap, I lost that one. Immediately. So I'm sorry, Chris, you picked your Cowboys. So because you picked your Cowboys, you might be screwed now. So if they lose, you can blame Isaiah for it.
Oh, we will.
Right? Yeah, so you can blame him. But anyways, that actually brings us to the end of the show. So we do want to thank Isaiah for hopping on here. Definitely. We're not going to have any shows tomorrow to tell you because of Thanksgiving. We don't really have much going on Friday. I know that we have Four Bros. Are you guys still doing that on Friday? Do you know?
No show this week.
Okay, so no Four Bros this week. So you can catch us again, though, on Saturday for another episode of Sports Minute. That's when we will definitely be back again for that episode. So for all of you who watched, we definitely want to say thank you. And so Chris P. Bacon, any final thoughts for you?
No, great show tonight. Thank you all for watching and tuning in, and hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
All right. And then, of course, Big B, any final thoughts for you?
Yes. I actually been waiting for this episode because, everybody's been giving their thanks, what they're thankful for this year. And outside of my family, my job, my health, Ace, I want to thank you because when you approached me with this idea, coming with you guys after we left the other network, I was on the verge of just leaving anyway. So I like what you pitched to me. So I want to just give you at JMac a big thanks for one, giving me the inspiring words that you guys trust me and will do what I do, but just giving me the vision that, we are better than what we were. And I just want to thank you for that because I was on the verge of being on a show and just saying, you know what, guys, it's my last show. I'm done. So I just want to thank you that. So I kind of been waiting to say that to you personally. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, man. We were never going to leave you behind. We always had that good bond, so I would never leave you behind that. All right. So Isaiah, any final thoughts for you?
Yeah, I actually want to be like or do what Big B did and also offer up my thanks as well. Not just to you, Ace, but to like everybody here on this panel because I'll say this, it's been so much fun the last 6-7 months that we've been doing this partnership, and we have this amazing partnership going on. You guys coming onto our programs, we going on to your programs, and it's just like such great fun and such great dynamic. And Ace, me and you talk like almost every day. I want to thank you for going on to Wild Sports Talk and filling in for Callan through some really difficult times and really help us saving that show. Big B as well. Thank you so much for jumping on the night shift with me and Loro and helping us rescue that show. And Chris, I think I also told you this on Saturday, was it, that we did that Thanksgiving special? But I mean, every time I ask you to come on a program, you never hesitate. So I really appreciate that. And it's been so much fun. And, looking forward to continuing this partnership with all of you guys. Definitely.
Yeah. We definitely want to extend the thank you to you guys too for this awesome partnership that we've had. It's been going great. We've actually really, really enjoyed it. We've made some minor changes the last couple weeks, which, we're going to have some more things that are going on here soon. We're changing a few things, but nothing too drastic. It's going to be some great things that I think that people are going to really, really enjoy. And so, of course, Isaiah, we definitely want to thank you for coming on Sports Minute to fill in for JMac, in the meantime, since he couldn't be here. So it's great to have you on. I've especially enjoyed our Kicking It with Isaiah and Ace. That's been a really fun show.
Oh, we all have.
When are we doing karaoke night? Are we going to do Christmas caroling edition?
You know what, though? I will say this. So see, Big B, exactly like you're saying, everybody has. Exactly. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback about that show. Like, people have been really liking it. So with that, anyways, we definitely want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Big B, for doing everything that you do. You're huge to this network. You're a big help. Sorry, that came out wrong.
Well, one last plug here before we go. Bodine, you saw him earlier on the Coast Coast. Go out and buy his books. So far, I've read it, a little bit of it. So far, I give it an A+. It hit home to me a little bit at the beginning, but go out and buy Bodine Sanders' books. You can see him on the Bo and Joe show before our show. So
definitely, and he'll actually be doing more stuff with the network also. Yep. So keep an eye out for that also. And then, of course, we want to thank Crispy Bacon. You're the backbone of this network, man. The things that you do for us, it's a true appreciation. So we definitely want to say thank you for that. So with that, thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will catch you guys on Saturday for another episode of Sports Minute. So have a great night, and we will see you then.
Happy Thanksgiving.